I need you to put yourself first, not in a way that's selfish, but only in a way that benefits you and the people around you. To start with this video, I wanted to start with my first point, just understanding that you have to prioritize yourself to benefit your own well-being and for those around you. Because there's a quote that reads, "You cannot pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first." And what I get from that is that you cannot give to others before you give to yourself. You can't expect to, if you're giving a friend, a loved one, a significant other 100% of your effort, 100% of your time, and you giving yourself zero, you're not reciprocating that energy and that love into yourself. Eventually, two things are gonna happen: you're gonna burn out, or you're gonna create resentment for that other person because you're not receiving what you give to them. When you shouldn't expect that from that other person, you should expect that from yourself. You should give that to yourself, not expect. Sorry, but you need to recognize what you need to thrive. Recognize that you're not like anyone else. Everyone is different. Everyone has their own needs. Everyone has their own wants. Understand what you want to prioritize yourself. Understand what you need to be the best version of yourself, whether that be solitude, whether that be like being around people, whether that be, you know, in the middle, a mix of both, being by yourself sometimes, but also being in social gatherings sometimes. Understand, take the time to find out what you need to be the best version of yourself, whether that be cutting out excess like stress. Sometimes you have to cut people off to get to where you want to be. Sometimes a lot of people, we hold on to these friendships and these relationships that are very dead weight to us, and we do it in spite of the love that we have for the other person or the memories that are attached to that person, and we don't want to cut that person off. But sometimes we have to understand and take that moment with ourselves to think about what this relationship is. What am I gaining from this relationship? And it's not even about, I guess, money things, like, what is the word? I'm drawing a blank. Materialistic things, there per se. It's not even about materialistic things. It can be about the energy that you give them that they're not giving you back. Or again, it can be materialistic, but the point is, if they're not, if the friendship is not beneficial to each other, not even just yourself, but if you're not benefiting them, they're not benefiting you, you should not be, that relationship should be cut, because again, it's just a waste of time for both parties. We have limited time on this earth, so we have to maximize our time spent here, whether that be with time spent, energy spent, friendships, like ABC, XYZ. Maximize the time spent on this earth. Maximize the time you have been given, and a way you can maximize that time is to cut out excess stress. And again, to do this, you must be honest with yourself. You have to have that moment of realization. Sit down with yourself and really ask yourself, first, am I? The first step is always self-awareness. You cannot just expect change to happen if you're always looking elsewhere for the problem. Sometimes the problem is within, and I feel like a lot of us do that. We look elsewhere for the problems, the origins of our problems, when a lot of the times the origin is ourself, the origin itself. The problem comes from within sometimes, and it's okay to understand that and accept it, because we're not perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, but to be a better version of yourself, to be the best version of you, you have to understand that you're going to make mistakes, and you can make mistakes, and it's okay that you will make mistakes. But again, you just need to learn from the mistakes and grow. So again, recognize what you need to thrive and cut out the excess. The next step I wanted to go into is just to implement self-care. A way to put yourself first is to implement self-care. Whether that be taking time to get good sleep, go outside, meditate, go to the gym, read, do something that you like, whether it be drawing. If you're creative, if you're an artist, draw. Do something that puts your mind at ease. Do something that makes you happy, the viewer happy, and do something that makes the user happy. For me, a thing that I like to do is read. Again, this is just an example. I like to read. So for me, when I'm stressed, when I need just a mood booster, I'll go read. Clear my mind, reset my mind, and again, tackle that problem or tackle that situation that was stressing me out after I relieve myself, elevate my mood. And again, another way you could do this is with eating, working out, giving physical activity. Eating is a big part of it. In America, the food nutritional system is terrible. The things that we consume on a daily basis, from fast food to even some of the things in grocery stores. I think the other day I seen a cinnamon toast crunch Pop Tart, and that is absolutely diabolical. Um, Again, just personal preference, not shaming anyone, but that is just not the healthiest option out there. And what you eat, you are what you eat. Truly, if you eat like shit, you will behave like shit and feel like shit. You get in. I mean, you get out. You get in what you put out. And in this case, it's the same for food. What you put in your body is what you exert out. Whether that be your energy levels are low, you might be fatigued, you might be very groggy because again, you're just not supporting your body with the nutrients that it needs. And again, this is a very key important part of taking care of yourself, putting yourself first, whether that be emotionally, physically, mentally, nutritionally. Like, you have to fuel your body, you have to put yourself first. These are key steps in the process of putting yourself first. Again, it goes from mental, physical, spiritual, whether that be if you're a Christian, if you're a Catholic, whatever religion. You don't even have to be tied to a religion, but just finding a higher power, finding a higher source of being, and following that being. Taking care of yourself in all aspects of life is very important if you want to put yourself first, because again, like I said, putting yourself first is not a selfish act. It generally is looked upon as selfish. People, and the only people who view it as selfish are people who don't put themselves first. But when you put yourself first, you're actually putting yourself in a better position to help others. So again, if you think about it in that way, which is the truth, it's not selfish. You're doing it for the benefit of yourself and others. You're doing it so, again, if you were to put yourself first, you don't put yourself first. Like I said, it can lead to either anger or resentment, right? Say you don't put yourself first, you get in a situation and that anger comes out, that frustration comes out, or that resentment comes out because that energy that you're putting out to other people is not being reciprocated. If you are taking care of yourself, you don't need that reciprocation because it's coming from within. You don't need an external source to reciprocate the energy from you because it's coming from within. You already know that you're good. You already know that you're putting yourself first. So again, back to the main point. Implementing self care. Another way it could be implemented is to limit negative influences. A lot of the negative influences we have in today's society could be from social media. Again, it could be from friends. Sometimes it's relationship, family. It could be your closest partner who's a negative influence on you. And this is why I say it's important to just sit down and understand what you need to thrive. Understand the good, make a list, the pros, the cons. Make a list of the people around you, the pros, the cons. What do they bring to the table? What do they not bring to the table? And if they bring, or if all they bring it is negatives, negatives, and it's maybe one or two cons, I think you know what you need to do in that situation. And again, understand some people are gonna look at you differently when you start to put yourself first. Some people are gonna think that you're better than them because you're prioritizing yourself. And again, that's just what comes with the process of bettering yourself. People who are low vibrational. That's a funny word to use, but people who are not taking care of themselves, I guess, in a way that you are, they're going to view you, a person who values themselves and deems themselves as higher than what they view themselves as. They're going to try to tear you down because misery loves company. When you try to put yourself first, a lot of people are going to view you as selfish, self-centered, and or just uncaring and very rude. But again, understand that your mental discipline has to be stronger than your emotional discipline. And your emotional discipline has to be very strong as well in situations like these, when you understand that they are just speaking from places of uncertainty because they don't know what it's like to put themselves first. So again, people fear what they don't know. So if they don't know how to put themselves first, and they see someone they love or see someone that they are acquainted with putting themselves first, they're going to fear it and shun it. They're going to shun you. So again, just limit negative influences. Sorry for going on that tangent, but just limit negative influences, whether that be social media, screen time, too much screen time. A lot of us spend about too much time of our phones in a day, about 8 hours, which is a lot. Try to limit that down to 7 hours, 6 hours, 4 or 5. Another tip could be to practice mindfulness, just being mindful and grounded of the moment, being aware of where your feet are, staying where your feet are. Not comparing yourself to your past, but comparing your past to now. And what I mean by that is do not think about what happened back then and wish to go back to where that is, because the past is the past. You can't go back. But what you can do is compare the past to the right now. You can compare where you were to where you are now. And hopefully that's in a better place. And if it's not, that's okay. Because each day is a new opportunity. So it can be flipped to right now, 5 minutes ago was the past. 5 minutes or 5 seconds ago, you could have made the choice to put yourself first, and now you're on the path. And in the future, maybe a month from now, you'll look back to 5 seconds ago when you started to put yourself first, and you think about how better you are now. So just understand and practice mindfulness, being where your feet are, keeping yourself grounded, and practicing gratitude about the journey that you're endeavoring on. And also, lastly, from this little section, just remember to take breaks. I talk about this a lot, but understand that you are not a robot. You are a human being who experiences fatigue. You experience restlessness. You experience anger. You experience emotions. Emotions are okay. Fatigue is okay. Being tired is okay. Feeling burnt out is normal, especially if you're overworking yourself. So this is why breaks are very beneficial. Sometimes, and it doesn't even have to be a week break. I have a upload schedule for I try to upload a video every 3 to 4 days, and then those 3 to 4 days I upload. In that time period before the next video, I try to give myself breaks. Obviously, I'm still thinking about video ideas, about how my videos are doing, but I also give myself time to just relax and calm down, take a break from all of this, because it can be a lot. Social media can be a lot. Life can be a lot. School, work, relationships, it can be a lot. Because it's 24/7. It's happening even when you're sleeping. Some shit could go down when you're sleeping. Crazy shit could go down while you're sleeping. It happens all the time. So life continues, but you also have to understand, again, it's about being grounded, and just to understand that you need time to rest as well. So allow your brain to cool down. Give yourself breaks. You're not a robot. You're a human. It's okay to chill out for a few hours. It's okay to give yourself a rest day. It's okay as long as you don't let those days bleed into weeks, or a day bleed into days. Then you're fine. It's not the end of the world because you took a break. Understand that. And lastly, I just wanted to talk about boundaries. I feel like I put it at the end, but this is a very important part of this video and part of this journey of putting yourself first. Because when you set boundaries, think about it as a wall. Because boundaries prevents others from draining your energy. When you set boundaries, it also encourages mutual respect in relationships, only if that person respects you. If they don't respect you, again, you setting a boundary against someone who doesn't respect you and your wishes is going to view a boundary as disrespectful, or they review it as you don't want them to be around anymore. You want them to fall back, or that they're doing too much. And sometimes sometimes that is the case. Sometimes you do have to set that boundary to let that person know that you are not okay with that behavior. And if that's how you feel, that's perfectly fine. Understand that if it makes sense to you, you're the only person that has to make sense to. If you want to set a boundary, set that boundary. Don't be fearful of what the other person will think if you set that boundary. Because again, you got that boundary. The boundary popped into your mind for a reason. Understand that our thoughts are very powerful, and we don't just get these thoughts for no reason. You got that thought about, you know, being distant with that friend for a reason. There might have been something that occurred to make you think that way, and you felt that way for a reason. That is a completely valid thought process. So don't be afraid to set boundaries. Don't let anyone talk you out of setting boundaries. If you feel like a boundary needs to be set that boundary. As again, boundaries set up walls. It's a respectful wall, though. It's not disrespectful. Do not let anyone tell you or try to strip your boundary away from you because they deem it as disrespectful. A boundary is the most respectful way to tell someone that you're uncomfortable with something. Think about that. A boundary is the most respectful way you can tell someone that you're uncomfortable with something. So understand that you need to set boundaries with some people, a lot of people sometimes, because some people overstep their boundaries, and that's that's where the boundary comes in, to just put that wall there. You know, it's not a barrier, it's not a barricade, but again, it's just a wall. Think of it as a mound to a castle. To get to the castle, you have to cross the mound, you know, and it might be like in the movies, it's like alligators, or like it's over a river. You know, you have to take extra precautions to get to the castle. Again, it's like it's a mound to you. You have to take extra precautions to get to me as I set this boundary. So just understand that boundaries are beneficial and not detrimental. And lastly, it's the last part of the video. I just wanted to leave y'all with this. When you take care of yourself, you're in a better position to take care of you and others. And again, it ties back into what I said at the beginning of the video, but taking care of yourself is probably the most important thing that you can do for yourself, and one of the best things that you can do for yourself. Because again, when you start to put yourself first, you unlock so many other aspects of life, whether it's relationships, whether it's money. People view you differently when you start to carry yourself a certain way, as if you are not less than. People view you differently, and they view you in a more respectful manner. Again, people who respect themselves view you in this way. People who don't respect themselves are going to deem it as disrespectful, selfish, self-centered. And again, those people are the people you can pick those people out from the crowd. And again, limit negative influences. Limit negative influences. That's a key part of the video. I want y'all to understand, to limit negative influences. I'm sorry, but with that being said, I'm gonna end this video right here. I hope y'all learned a good word from this video. I hope y'all took something from this video. If you did, let me know in the comments. I hope y'all have a great day. Remember to take care of yourselves. Put yourself first. Understand that it's not selfish to take care of yourself. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. And with that being said, I'm gonna end this video here. Y'all have a nice night. Peace out.